The Conjuring is fantastic, and the Warrens are great and everything, but you know what's even better than all of them?
Officer Brad Hamilton, Harrisville, Rhode Island PD.
That's right, Officer Brad Hamilton. And even though he doesn't show up until halfway through this movie, today he is going to be our main character, and we're going to look at this movie strictly from his perspective. From the moment he arrives on this call, he has no idea what he's in for.
You know you can't shoot ghosts, right?
Take it easy on him, Drew. Okay, so let me get this stuff unloaded.
Personally, I think he's one of the greatest side characters to ever come into a horror movie because he helps to ground the whole experience. Because up to this point, there's been so many scares and creepy experiences that the family has had that it helps to bring everything back around to remind us that this is a true story. Brad acts as one of the perfect characters for us to be able to put ourselves into his shoes to experience this movie from his perspective as somebody that hasn't seen any of this stuff in person. Just another day for them. Or I guess better said, another night for him, but he's basically working overtime because he's still working during the day and just helping the Warrens with this project at nighttime. I sure hope that they're paying him well for everything that's going on, but as we will see, he is very much needed on this entire project. And from the very moment that he arrives and they begin to set everything up, he's hands-on, he's helping out, whatever he needs to do with grabbing this and grabbing that, he's setting it up because, well, as far as he's concerned, probably none of this is real, but he's getting paid. And I'm sure any one of us can relate with that feeling of, well, if they're paying me to do it, sure, I'll help out with whatever. And it's pretty clear how on edge everybody is, and he's just so nonchalant the entire time, especially with this scene.
What? I had to go.
I mean, with everybody else having already experienced something in the house, it makes sense that he's just chill about the whole thing, using the bathroom like it's no big deal, and they're just scared to death already.
What?
So it seems that the Warrens hired Brad to be an actual physical protection within the household, because I'm sure these things have gotten out of hand for him many times. But he also seems to be very handy whenever it comes to actual camera work and any of these devices that he's helping them with. And it's also very good that he's not very spooked by everything that's going on like, well, everybody else in the house is, because
Door's just opened on its own. I have Lorraine and Officer Brad Hamilton with me.
he just trots down there with the camera and is the last to come up from the basement. Like, did they not tell him anything that's happened up to this point within this house? They should have at least told him a little bit of something. But it's not till after they come up out of this terrible, creepy basement that some of this begins to sink in that there's something extra going on here.
Looked a little freaked out when that door slammed shut.
But Brad's not scared. He's gonna trust that clock that it's done turned over to 308. Stupid.
I believe the clock. It's 3:08.
Which brings me back, because if he knows about the clock stopping at 3:07, that means they must have told him all the other stuff that's going on, and he just doesn't care. But hey, I mean, that's great. I guess we need somebody that's not scared of any ghosts or terrible witch demons. But I'll be honest, I feel pretty bad for him, because he goes from working there, probably I'm gonna say 3 in the afternoon, they set everything up, and then he had to stay up all night to help keep track of all the cameras and everything that was going on, and then it shows him the next morning getting ready to go back to his shift to go and work his actual cop job, and then it's not until this next evening whenever he's back over there all night long. How long were these people up for? Because I'm sure some of the other people could have got, a nap. Poor Brad's over here having to work double duty, which is also the reason he's having to refill with some coffee, because he's been up so long. But now he also begins to hear stuff. I'm just saying, I know whenever I've been up for a crazy amount of hours at one time,
You start to hear stuff.
you start to see stuff. And I guess it would have been one thing if he was at his own house, but he's in one of the most haunted houses. Arguably, one of the worst places to be when you've been up for 36 hours straight.
Ed?
Look what you made me do!
So after screaming for help, and I'm sure being very confused of what all is going on, and assuming it's just hallucinations, and then he just really needs that coffee, it's quickly swept under the rug as there's other things that are currently going on in this house. And I just love his dedication because he doesn't bring it up again. He just continues on and goes to help the little girl. They go upstairs. He gets the UV light. He brings it back. They find the little girl. They get her out. And then he stands by and he watches as Lorraine goes and climbs up into this hole where the little girl was hiding, and it's apparently Rory's old hiding spot. And next thing you know, she falls all the way down to the basement, and he just sort of stands in the background. And I can't blame him at all after what he's been through this evening, and so is everybody else. But of course, Ed is the one that is trying his hardest to find Lorraine because this is just another evening to him. But I'm sure as far as Brad is concerned, he's just losing his mind. That is until Lorraine makes her way out of the basement and begins to unveil the demon's plan of how she's going to use the mom to end the kids. And with everybody standing around, it's like the demon admits to, yes, that is exactly my plan. And I'll start with this one. And Brad firsthand gets to witness the power of this demon, and I'm sure is still just wishing he had his coffee. But one thing is for sure, he will not be able to deny what happened right in front of his eyes because it was all caught on camera. And luckily for him and everybody else in the house, that was it for the night, and now they will be able to, I just hope he's able to go home and take a nap at least. I don't know how well you would really be able to sleep after that, but you could try. But it definitely seems like he went home and got some sleep, because the next phone call that he must have received from the Warrens whenever he came flying down this road to get back to the parents' house, he was ready to go. He ain't scared of no ghosts, he ain't scared of no demons, and if that door is shut, you best believe it's coming down. And this here is the exact reason that they had Brad out and that they hired an officer to help out, because of course he's the one to wrestle away the scissors from, well, the demon-possessed mom. He's the one that helps hold her down the majority of the time. He's the one that gets her off the top of Ed Warren. Okay, well, he at least tried to get her off the top of Ed, you know. It is like a crazy witch demon that he's fighting here, and can't really shoot a ghost with a gun. You know, most people, they get bit in the face by a demon. I think they're leaving the house, but not Brad. He's coming right back. And he's pulling out them handcuffs and handcuffing a demon to a chair. He can't shoot no demon, he can sure handcuff one. And then after they get her all strapped to the chair and everything calms down a little bit, he gets to witness the actual exorcism firsthand in the room. I think I would have this exact same face too. Now, of course, I'm not Catholic myself, but I am an ordained Baptist minister. You don't believe me? Cover up some of my sensitive info here. See? But I'm sure this moment right here, for anybody standing in that room, would have the same reaction. Stunned silence. And even after the chair flips over and hits the ground and everybody gets to witness Miss Perrin fully taken over by Bathsheba, this witch demon, Brad's still on top of it because he's out here saving people. But I mean, I guess you can't shoot a ghost with a gun, but it seems like a ghost can shoot you with a gun. And I think one of the reasons that this scene actually happened in the order that it did, because by them blasting at Ed, that puts Brad and Ed farther away from where Bathsheba is currently taking over Miss Perrin. So whenever she gets up to run after the child underneath the house, they're too far away to physically grab and catch her and allowing her to slip away under the house. Strategy. And even though Brad's not directly involved in what's fixing to happen next, he is definitely close by listening and potentially seeing what is happening with Miss Perrin and with the child and with the Warrens and just everybody that's there. But while he has experienced all this power that this demon had within this house, I would be curious to see how his reaction is to the moment that Ed and Lorraine are using their faith to cast out Bathsheba, simply by speaking on behalf of God and in the name of Jesus Christ. There's gotta be a lot more power there if you're asking me. And of course that's, what I believe. But just after this, they're all able to take a breath and begin to relax and finally come out of the house. And hopefully Brad can go get some sleep and maybe some first aid. I don't know how demon bites are with infection. But then also go back to work and never have to do this again. Because in his own words,
I'd take a guy with a gun any day.
And can you blame him? From the very beginning, he shows up not sure what to expect. All the way through everything he experienced, He's probably just ready to get back to his normal life. But it definitely seems like he's been confronted enough with having to make this decision that Ed Warren himself talked about on which one he's going to follow. Because he's been both confronted with the devil and demons exist, and it's clear that God and the power of Jesus Christ exist, and now he's got to choose. Or, I guess, he can just play it off as, I didn't have any sleep for like 4 days, and it was all just a dream. Don't show me the video. I don't want to see it again. Let me know what other movies you want me to cover and what side character you want me to cover it from. And be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video, because if you like the video, why would you not leave a like on the video? You'd have to be possessed or something not to leave a like on the video. With that, y'all have an extra blessed day. Stay safe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.